to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lance Bell. Next to me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, go ahead and tell the folks about the beautiful people that sponsor this podcast.
As always, Lance, this show is brought to you by the good people of Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. We are just one day into our Wanna week, and we already have tons of Wanna winners worthy of celebrating and some weekly leaderboards to update here. As always, we start with the pick'ems. Dialed picks. It wouldn't be a leaderboard without him. Get hitting up in the pick six for $500. He is now just 2,570 away from the mythical 50,000 club. He would be the one and only member, but we haven't been doing this very long. Wanna didn't start until the football season started. So we're 7 months in, and this motherfucker's racked up 50K. It could be you, is all I'm saying. Start changing your life, win $50,000. Go on more fun vacations. In the pick four, No Kiddin' 1010 wins $200. In the pick three, Hornlock 150. Oileds wins 125. I can only pronounce this as Anus, A-N-A-S. Anus 229 wins 575. Going to combine third through 12th place. Locked down 9 parlays. It hits. Good to be good. In the pick two, Paul Lauk wins $100. Murphy Music winning some money. Marco hit 25, winning some money, and D. Garibaldo starting to show up quite often on leaderboards. Not a bad profile to go check out if you're struggling. The Parlay Royale, no blood last night. Disappointing from you people. It's $1,000 up for grabs. Go get busy. Go get busy. The main event, Doorman. Lots of ends on the end of that if you're looking them up on the one account. Puts down a 256.47 right out of the gate and did so 3 times. Placed the same parlay 3 separate times. So a little bit of controversy on this one. We had some correlated bets, a lot of Blackhawk bets that seemed to agree with each other. The chat wasn't thrilled. We'll see what happens in the long run. It's not entirely certain as it stands now if it's going to stand. So the point being, the next number you're going to have to beat is from B-flat or with an 18.23. You beat that, and worst case scenario, you're still making $300 on a 4th place finish, and it's just a $2 parlay. And if it's not that, and there's some shakeup on this leaderboard, you're still playing for $2K. So worth getting over there right now and slamming it. A reminder to everybody, March 23rd, party brought to you by Tone and sponsored by Wanna Parlay, going down in ATL, the Wanna Parlay party. Lots of good men and women like yourself coming together for some relationship building and, more importantly, some parlay building. So exciting stuff there. Also worth mentioning, if you're not in ATL and you're down there in Chicago, Little Joe's is going to be putting together something as well, for, brought to you by the good people of Wanna Parlay and LB and Dito Yankees. So I'm going to tell you right now, Premier Party, I got to imagine Tone's putting together something special. So if you're in Atlanta and you got flight miles going someplace, pop over there and have some fun. And if not, you're in the Midwest, make sure you get over to Little Joe's in KG, who's always putting together a great party, great food, great drinks, and the whole nine. And then a special little Wanna promo here before we get on the show. This is a special message that goes out to all my people from Texas and Florida, all the good residents of those 2 fine states. Tell every neighbor you have, every fellow citizen you know, download Wanna Parlay immediately. It is literally the only app in those states where you can legally win picking spreads, money lines, and over-unders. This was once just a fact of the state of California, now taking over Texas and Florida. Texas and Florida people, get busy. I'm going to be in a wedding in Palm Beach this weekend, hanging out with people going to the Players. I'm going to be all over Wanna while I'm in Florida. That's a guarantee. Same to my Texas homies. I'm wearing the SMU gear today. Go ahead and get on Wanna Parlay immediately. $2 to win $2,000. You're not going to find a better deal anywhere. That is all I got, fellas. Let's hit it.
All right. Accountability time, accountability hour. Let's get started. I'll start, obviously. I went 2-2. Wasn't great, wasn't bad, you know. I got a little fucking snaked by the Grizzlies. I don't know, that one was tough, but let's start. Lakers minus 5.5 at Nets. This was a loss. This was the one game I got to watch last night, and I was not very impressed. That was just a fucking dud. That was just brutal stuff from the Lakers. Next, Grizzlies minus 3.5 versus the Suns. Yep, Desmond Bane. You're a bad guy. That turnover to not cover the spread, that's just brutal. You're a bad guy. But next, we got Rockets minus 4.5 at Magic. That was a lock. They beat the shit out of Magic. It was good stuff. And then Raptors minus 7.5 versus the Wizards. Wizards are not going to beat anyone on the road. You can maybe make an argument if it's a if it's a shitty team at Wizards, but Wizards are not going to go on the road and beat anyone. And the Raptors covered the 7.5. So 2-2. Not bad. Not bad. Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, just really quick on your picks, pal. The Lakers, I'm never going to bet against my own team, but that was a tough spot last night. You had no LeBron, no Jackson Hayes, no Rui Hachimura, no Dorian Finney-Smith. And then on top of that, you had a banged-up Luka on a back-to-back with the Lakers going against a D'Angelo Russell that has made it his mission just to hate LA. He always plays well against us, never played well for us. It's a brutal thing. The Grizz, 100% on Desmond Bane. Inbound the ball, pal, and we got 2 free throws to cover this number. You got absolutely hosed here. Hate to see it. Rockets -4.5. Your system prevails. Keep hitting it. West versus East. When they're lined up in the standings, when it's West versus East, trust the West Coast team. And then, yes, the Wizards on the road. Unless it's like a 19-point guy versus like a Celtics or a Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's already kind of ensured their placement, and maybe they kind of take a night out. Maybe the boys go have some fun that night and take it easy. But short of that, yeah, tough time to be a Wizards fan. I know several of them. Tough life over there. Go to my picks here. I got hot last night, boys. I went 5-1. And more importantly, Tone, you weren't here for the beginning of this. I'm getting close to finishing this entire season going undefeated in the Big Sky. I'm rolling here. So Charleston +4.5 versus UNC Wilmington. Pretty much nailed this. I thought Charleston had a chance to win this outright. UNC Wilmington's damn good. Be interesting to see what seed they get in the tournament. If they're 16, they're screwed. If they're 14, they're dangerous. But they end up beating Charleston by 1. We covered the number. Going to my Big Sky picks, Idaho +4.5 versus Portland State. We win by 10. Went outright by 10. Cover that number by 14.5. Montana State +1.5 versus Idaho. We win by 20. Cover that number by 21.5. Good to be good in the Big Sky.
Good to be good.
Then I go chasing some Austin Reeves. That was a horrible mistake. My man's in a bit of a funk right now. Took his over in points of 21. He goes 3 of 14. I don't know what's going on with my man. Thank God I added the Dalton Connect on. Was unafraid to take a Reeves and Connect. Connect hits on his over of 1.5 3-pointers made. 3 of 9 isn't so impressive, but 3 is nice. And then Dalton Connect over the 14.5. Had 19 last night. So good stuff from Connect. And a 5-1 day for me. Tone, I did not have the discipline nor the willpower to go through your 51 picks. You got to catch me up to speed.
I got you. I got you covered. Don't worry. And what I want to say, man, I was fire hot if you ask me. I don't know, what kind of percentile people be wanting you to fall into, but I'll start off saying that out of 51 picks, I went 62%. I feel like that's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
that is fucking phenomenal, Tone. That's in the sweet spot. Professional gamblers are trying to be better than 60. You're home.
And I had out of the 51 last night, I had 2 DNPs, Tatum and Trae Young. Neither one played, so that canceled out. So that made it where I had 39 picks, and out of the 39, I had 24. And you do the math, that's 61.5%. Take it how you want. So starting off on my left side with my money lines and spreads, I had Towson for the W. They got the W. Wolford for the W. They got the W. I had Miami Heat for the W. They didn't hit. Charlotte Hornets plus 9.5. They hit. Boston Celtics W. They hit. Atlanta Hawks W. They hit. Raptors W. They hit. Rockets W. They hit. Rockets -4.5. They hit. I'm hot. Rockets Magic over 212.5. I told you guys risky. They didn't hit. I told you guys risky. I told you. Hey, at least I warned you. OKCW, they didn't hit. They didn't hit, but then I got hot again. Denver plus 9.5 hit. Denver, OKC under 237.5 hit. Mavericks W hit. St. Mary's W hit. Golden State W hit. I said tricky on Portland plus 11.5, but they hit. Gonzaga, I told you belt the ass, and what did they damn do? Then my last 2 on the left side was the Lakers first half W and Lakers W overall, and we know how that went. If the Lakers would have just fucking cleared, yeah, that would have been phenomenal on that side. It was phenomenal if you ask me, but hey,
yeah. And the audience better know that we're Lakers fans. You're always getting a little something with us when we're going on Laker picks. And we're educated. Our props are great. But our sometimes we're never going to be caught betting against the Lakers.
And I'm going to be honest, it was the Brooklyn Nets, guys. I thought we were going to beat the fucking Brooklyn Nets. Like, they're shitters. Yeah. I thought we had it. That's me. It was an ego thing. I thought I would just put all the weight on Luka. I thought he could get it done. Wasn't great. So keep going, Tone.
You said that was 29-10 last night from you.
24 and 39. 24 out of 39.
24 out of 39. So 24 and 15.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. 24 and 15. So as a group here, 29, 31, and 18. 31 and 18 last night from the podcast. Hot stuff, fellas. Let's keep it rolling.
I mean, it's just great.
Smoking
It's
hot,
beautiful stuff. Man, all right. So we got a couple things lined up. We got some NFL to talk about. We got some signings. We got Daniel Jones to the Colts on a 1-year deal. Jack, talk to me. It's like you predicted
I saw
this.
Tone get fired up there. I kind of want to hear from Tone on this.
Okay, because it wasn't for Daniel. Womp, womp, womp. But the Falcons, man, I mean, we got us a pickup from San Francisco. I think San Francisco, they're over there playing baseball. They're in spring cleaning season right now. They are cleaning the house. They are straight in rebuild mode. We don't want nothing. Get it, send it, have it. And Falcons, we landed something, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, ATL's getting right. You got to figure out what you're doing with that Kirk Cousins contract. But outside of that, Atlanta's got to be feeling good.
That's what I was going to think. That was on my brain too. Kirk Cousins contract.
Interesting on Daniel Jones to the Colts on a 1-year deal. I wish this were Justin Fields going there because I feel like they're going to try to get out of Daniel Jones exactly what you would have gotten out of Justin Fields. They're going to lean into a rush-happy offense, a lot of quarterback run, probably some of the most quarterback run we've seen, at least in a game plan. In recent years, and that includes Lamar Jackson, a lot of these guys that are running 15 plus times a game. So we're going to be seeing quite a bit of that. They've said openly before they even went into the free agency that they wanted this to be an open competition, whoever they brought in. So it'll be interesting to see who emerges out of all this. And once again, I said yesterday, I really wanted to see Justin Fields because I really want to see some 2 quarterback sets make it into the mainstream a little bit. It's a little bit of a high school offense, but it's just fucking gnarly to deal with. Still not. You could still absolutely do that with these 2 guys. I know it's a ridiculous thought, but it just for the sake of football, I want more fake punts and more fucking creativity on offense. Stop living in a box. And then the flip side of this one, Tone, the Vikings now let Sam Darnold walk on a deal. I think I guess the timeline of it wasn't great, but I wonder if Sam were willing to do less time, more upfront money. You could have franchise tagged him. Now you would have been paying him $40 million, but you're doing that just for 1 year, just to make sure this JJ McCarthy thing goes right. Now you let Daniel Jones walk as well. You're officially all in on JJ McCarthy. Now you drafted him 10th overall a year ago, so you kind of have to be all in on it. So you're not just wasting that pick. It felt a little Jordan Lovey that he was going to survive on the bench a little bit for a couple of years, but you want to see what you have in the investment. But wild to think the Vikings are going to be, we're going to wait and see on what happens here with JJ McCarthy, because outside of their quarterback, it's absolutely a Super Bowl roster.
Did JJ start a game this past season?
No, he was got hurt in fall camp, and they rolled him out. He was out the entire season, so he was a sideline guy with the earpiece hanging out.
Ooh, you go, Lance.
I don't know what to think because I didn't see why JJ McCarthy was the 10th pick when he was the 10th pick. I didn't see the game film in college. Like, I get it. He won a national championship, but that was a really good Michigan team with a really run heavy offense. Like, I just never saw any film of him throwing like ropes in college or any of that. So that's why I'm so lost, because now they're so invested in him with the Vikings. I mean, here's KG Little Joe's in the chat. He says JJ gonna be a bust. And I'm like, I feel the same way. I don't know but I don't want to be like a hater, but I'm like, now they have all their cards in his basket, and it's like, or all the eggs in his basket. What do you want to say? And we'll see. I will hope the best. I hope the best.
I'll say this, outside of Caleb Williams, everybody kind of hit last year. You liked what you saw from Drake May. You liked what you saw from Jaden Daniels. I mean, loved it from Jaden Daniels. And you expect Caleb Williams to not be a bust yet. We think with Ben Johnson and kind of this reformed team, especially on the O-line, he's going to have a better second year. And we're still, going to get the Caleb we were promised out of college. If you're just playing the numbers here, I don't know that we hit 100% on that round of first-round quarterbacks. Let me add Bo Nix to that list as well. Goes to the playoffs. So if it feels like if there was a landmine still hanging out there, is it Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy? My money would probably slide JJ McCarthy. Yeah. He's a physical freak now. He doesn't get enough credit for being a physical freak. He runs incredibly well, and he does some shit that's crazy. That highlight where they throw the pitch pass against Alabama, he pitches it, kind of rolls out. He has to make a one-hand catch and throw it off his back foot, all kind of in the same motion. Like, that's some freaky shit. That's some shortstop kind of shit. that I love. Not the big arm, more of a talented, can drop the arm slots and do all that. But to your point, Lance, I do not remember him having to win from the pocket a lot. I remember him having the best O-line and the best run game in college football, and that giving him a lot of open shots. Throwing to Nico Collins, by the way, in his first year. So, I mean, he had some dudes. And also Romeo Wilson, who's with the Steelers now. Another fucking, I think that's his name, Rome Wilson.
Yeah, but regardless, my point being, and you're 100% right, like he had the best roster on that national championship run, by far, and it never came down to JJ McCarthy's going to win us the game. Like it never came down to that.
Everybody that got drafted off that team had a good rookie year. It was a damn good. I mean, good for Harbaugh. It was damn good.
And KG Lil Joes, he says JJ is a poor man's Kyle Orton. Wow. Wow.
Okay. First of all,
give him a chance.
Without that college title, JJ falls out of the top 15 draft picks. Without that title, easily.
Yeah, that was a big ramp up, honestly, because you go beat Alabama, and then who'd they play in the national championship?
Right.
Who?
It wasn't Ohio.
No, it was. Wasn't it?
Was it Georgia?
Was it? That's one of my guesses. I mean, if it's not Georgia, is it Bama?
Now we gotta look this Georgia, up. Did they?
Hold on, Mish, or you got it, Jack?
Yeah, that's gonna drive me crazy because I was at that.
Oh, it was UW. It was UW. They beat
UW.
Yeah, they beat
Penix. UW beat Texas. Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez. Hey, you know what? That was one to forget. That was one to forget. But the Texas Washington game, that was a good one. All right. So I feel like we're all kind of on the same page. We're a little just weary with this whole JJ McCarthy. We don't know what we're gonna see.
I would have liked, if you're the Vikings, I wouldn't have let Daniel Jones walk out, and I would have tried to franchise tag Sam Darnold if you were always going to let Daniel Jones go. There's no insurance plan for JJ McCarthy. Is a scary place to be.
100%.
Does this satisfy the receiving core?
That's a great question. We'll see
Also
what JJ what's his name, Jetta's. He'll we'll see. He's probably going to be quiet, and we'll see. It's because I don't know.
And there's not a lot of flexibility on this team. I mean, JJ is still the highest paid receiver. Jamar Chase is going to go by him, but as it stands currently, and then you got they just paid Aaron Jones freak money. He's getting paid Saquon type bucks for 3 years. So it's interesting. It's all very interesting for Vikes. JJ McCarthy hits. Congratulations, you guys got a chance. If not, God help you.
All right, let's move on. So Najee Harris to the Chargers. I'll start off with my thoughts. I think I like it because of Jim Harbaugh and how he coaches football and how he runs the shit out of the ball. I mean, and now Najee will have be alongside a quarterback that can sling it, and hopefully, they get receivers and can space out the field and maybe not have 8 people in the box every time Najee Harris is taking a handoff like it felt with the Steelers. So I think I like it. I think I like it a lot. What do you guys think?
I think breakout season. I've been liking Najee since college, and I think he hasn't had the chance to fully display what he's capable of in the NFL. I think he's shown to a lot of people that he's a great running back, but I feel like he's one of the best fly under the radar running backs. I feel like a lot of teams aren't targeting when they're playing him to just so I think he's going to show a whole lot. He's switching conferences, and I think it's going to be a nice fit.
I'm with you, Tone. I think this is the perfect marriage here, going to LA and being with the Chargers. Najee Harris has quietly gone for 1,000 yards every year of his career, and he's done so behind what is easily the worst O-line in the Mike Tomlin era for the Steelers. I do the mock drafts every year, and every year I'm begging them to get right on the O-line, and they just seemingly can't. Last 3 years, that's been the biggest problem with the offense, is their offensive line. And Najee Harris, you see it. He's got guys in his backfield, and he makes the most and gets the toughest 4 yards you've ever seen. Now he's going to a place that wants to run the ball 50+% of the time. It's got an O-line they invested behind that's amongst the best O-lines in football. This is absolutely his breakout year. It's going to be fun to see Najee Harris kind of cut it loose. And it's the exact guy in a Jim Harbaugh offense that you want here. A tough nose, get you tough yards. You dominate on 3rd and short. You're willing to go for it on every 4th and 1. That's exciting for Chargers fans. And then flip side of this, I don't know what the Steelers' game plan is here. I don't know. They still won't say who's playing quarterback. The most recent report from like NFL insiders or like someone within the Steelers camp said that they're moving off Wilson. Wilson's gone. Fields is obviously out of there. So there's been like Aaron Rodgers murmurs and this and that. But again, it's not a great O-line. You got rid of Najee Harris right after you signed DK Metcalf. So he almost told me like we were going to get big and physical and play with those guys, you know, close to the core, close to the O-line right there, and create matchups that way. And now I have absolutely no idea what we're doing over there. I can't figure it out to save my life.
I think it's Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers coming in. He's going to play quarterback. They moved off Najee because they didn't want to pay him. They're going to draft one because there's a lot of running backs to be drafted. And then we're going to see if they can draft O-line as well and fucking make a run. Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers. I love it. I want it. I want to see it. I love Aaron Rodgers, man. He's one of the all-time greats. I think he still has life in him. The first half of the season versus the last half of the season when he was on the Jets, like he showed significant improvement, but there was just such chaos because Saleh got fired and all the shit that went down. So I'm like, there's still life left in Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, but we'll talk about that one later.
Aaron Rodgers, in my mind, still owns the title of the best back shoulder thrower of all time. And those between George Pickens and DK Metcalf, Jesus Christ. So, I mean, maybe you can sit there and talk yourself into it. It just feels absolutely wild. It'd be fun. Let's do it.
What quarterback has, without a gun, robbed as many teams as Russell Wilson?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Without a gun.
You know who it is? It's actually my fun little trivia question. It's Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford. Cardinals, Eagles, 5-year mega deals.
Runner up, Kirk Cousins.
yeah. Exactly right.
Hey, Kirk Cousins, I'm telling you, he still has life. You got to believe that. He hasn't gone anywhere, has he? He's still waiting. No, maybe no one wants him. That's tough stuff. That's tough stuff for my take. Yeah. All right. So any more Steeler talk? Any more belief? Or are we moving on to this Niners spring clean?
Do the Niners. Tone brought up the Niners.
Okay. Yeah. And before we move on, he may go over to the Steelers, the backup job, or they got the money to be able to if they let Russell,
Oh, wait.
May go over to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. But the problem is they don't want to, I don't think they want that deal either. That deal.
Yeah, Tone, you're trying to get him out of Atlanta so bad right now.
Yeah, I'm like, Atlanta, they basically, I think they got to cut him, but
get
at that
to the
point,
Titans and call it a day.
Yeah. Wow. Kirk Cousins in the AFC. What a sad, that's just brutal stuff. All right. So 49ers, I haven't seen much. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little under a rock when it comes to the 49ers news. I saw Juszczyk is getting released, and I've seen Greenlaw went to the Broncos, but there's a good amount.
Hufunga as well, the safety. They're a great box
safety
going to the Broncos, and then whoever Atlanta picked up. I know they lost offensive lineman. I'm forgetting who y'all picked up, Tone.
We how did you feel? You don't like Atlanta, do you, Jack? Okay.
God, no.
Leonard Floyd, the edge rusher, 8.5 sacks in 2024, right behind Nick Bosa. We got Leonard Floyd, the edge rusher. I'll let you guys pick up.
Damn.
Tone, I can't recall a time other than the 28-3 I was rooting against Atlanta. I got in on the Patriots for one game, but outside of that, I've rooted for you my entire life.
The Falcons don't get much love outside of here.
No, the Dirty Birds need some hugs. They need some love around them. So the Juszczyk thing, and it's just a sign of the mass exodus because he was such a staple player for these guys for years, multiple year captain, just one of the faces of the organization. And such a, I don't know how many teams Kyle Juszczyk gets to be an all-pro for. He was the exact perfect fit for their offense, playing that H-back, securing the edge, living in 12 personnel, doing all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what team picks him up. A ton of teams now trending towards more of the 12 personnel. The Eagles could absolutely go at him. It'd be fascinating. Broncos could go in there and get him. Chiefs could go live with them. So it'd be interesting to see where he ends up. The other interesting part of this 49ers, I don't know if it's a fiasco yet, but it's certainly a rebuild. Brock Purdy's holding firm at $50 million. And to me as well, he should. It's a guy who's walked off the Super Bowl field in overtime with the lead. He's had a little bit of the injury history. But to me, everything I've read, just trying to interpret the situation, it seems as if the 49ers are unwilling to do a deal that's beyond 3 years, and they want to live in that 40 million camp because they want Purdy to be this rebuild guy. They want to go get right and then start the next Super Bowl chase with another guy at the helm. And so this long-term $50 million a year deal, I don't think it's getting handed out. So again, we brought it up, I think, like 4 podcasts ago, but this is another weird spot. Does Aaron Rodgers land here? It's not a Super Bowl chasing team, but what is going? I'm not, put the 49ers up with the Steelers. I don't see the play for this year, and I don't see the play for the future going on right now.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, especially with the Brock Purdy 50 million. I mean, I know he deserves it. I know he should, be waiting there, but would I pay that? And again, with the Niners roster and what they're doing, would I pay that?
Yeah. And again, Christian McCaffrey coming off a weird injury, didn't play a ton, Go ahead.
KG Lojo's in the chat. He says, you think 49ers are secretly trying to shop McCaffrey? McCaffrey, I think, is done and can't play a full season without being hurt. And is he ever going to recover from his last injury? My answer to that, KG, I say no. I think McCaffrey's done. I think it's a little bit of Todd Gurley's disease, but it's in his Achilles, the tendonitis. It's degenerative, and you don't really come back unless he's got the, LeBron / Tom Brady doctor in Germany. I know he went over there, but the tendonitis is just brutal stuff. Jack, what do you got?
This will be the one time ever on this podcast I play the race card, but I've spent my life around professional athletes. And when you're that wired tight and that explosive as a white dude, you are prone to these injuries. You go around the league right now, Cooper Kupp, you name it. When you are that explosive as a white dude, I don't know how it works, but you are wound too fucking tight, and these injuries plague you your entire career.
The Riley Moss kid, the DB, I mean, McCaffrey, I mean, it's brutal stuff.
Yeah, I guess there's exceptions to the rule starting to show up left and right. But
I'm saying Riley Moss got hurt. Yeah. Like these guys, Cooper DeJean was hurt this season. Like I don't know if they make it the full 9 yards.
You're wound up like a track athlete, and those guys, it just is when all the starting and stopping, you just trigger it.
It's brutal stuff.
Julian Edelman struggled with it his whole career. Wes Welker struggled with it.
Yeah. It's just brutal. And that's why. So I don't even know if you can shop McCaffrey. He's just expensive and he's broken. It's over. It's tough. It's sad. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, they had the window. They had this 3-4 year window where they could have won a Super Bowl. Didn't get it done. Tough stuff for 49er fans. Time to move on and just clean house. That's why.
The brutal part.
Go ahead.
The brutal part is like. The history has shown like you're not going to be a wild card team. Like they go 13-3, or they go 13-4, they go 4-13. You get a Nick Mullins run here. If you lose Purdy and try to put it together with another Nick Mullins, another guy that's going to be lucky to get 4 more years as a backup in this league, I mean, good luck to you. And then again, we're going to get to the end of next year, and Kyle Shanahan's going to be career 500. That guy needs to be put under a microscope more often.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tone, anything, or are we moving on?
I personally feel that somebody will land McCaffrey. I personally feel like 50% of McCaffrey is better than 100% of a lot of backs in the league right now. They just have to put him on some restrictions, snap restrictions, and play him a different way. But I think McCaffrey still, his football IQ is different. I think he should be able to survive if he lands on a smart team that doesn't put the workload on his back.
Yeah, once we saw that Saquon contract and we had that conversation on this podcast, I started rethinking entirely how I would go about constructing a roster. A couple of these guys, like Devontae Adams, is making more money, almost twice as much money as Saquon's making this season. There's no way, even if I was paying him the same, I go Devontae Adams on a draft board before I go Saquon.
Right.
And I got to pay Devontae twice as much. And between Devontae and Christian McCaffrey, those 2 guys I can put anywhere on the field. I can motion them out of the backfield and get them on a linebacker split wide outside. I can play them straight up slot receiver and have another running back on the field. Those guys can do a little bit of it all. So, I'm with you, Tone. 50% of Christian McCaffrey is still better than quite a bit on the market.
Yeah,
I
no.
do think feel like his tenure in San Fran is done though. I do feel like that. I agree with you guys on that. But for some other teams, 50 of McCaffrey is better than 100 of a lot of others.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. All right. Let's move forward. Let's move on to NBA. I didn't catch the game. I was on a sick one, birthday activities. But the Nuggets beat the Thunder in the rematch in the back-to-back, it felt. I'm pretty sure they it's kind of back-to-back. But yeah, Nuggets win at Thunder. Jokic put up a crazy stat line, and the rest of the Nuggets offense was honestly firing and put up crazy efficient numbers. Shea had 25, 3, and 7. And so what are your guys' thoughts in the MVP race? Does this move anything? Does this change anything?
Tone, did you get to watch this game last night?
I watched bits and pieces. I was bouncing back and forth with my parlays. But I mean, what did I have down? I had OKC to look.
You had OKC to win.
Okay, so sorry. Happy birthday, parlay, Lance. Hating on my parlay, but yeah, I said W. And I mean, hey, no, that doesn't change anything for me. It was just one game, Well, how many times have we seen this from Jokic?
No, it's unbelievable. So literally, that's what the only reason I put the note down is because this was an hour after we got done having this conversation. This game tips off. And then Jokic goes for 35, 18, and 8 on 75% shooting. He was 15 of 20 from the field. And SGA played great. He played great. But he was 25, 3, and 7 on 50% shooting, and obviously gets beat by 13 in a game. He was favored by 6.5. Home court advantage, the whole shebang. Yeah. So again, we're kind of getting back to this little space of like SGA is deserving of an MVP, but to a man, we all sit here and go, Jokic is better, and he might even be having the better year. Coach Malone, Nuggets coach, Tone, I don't know if you saw this. I was just catching it on SportsCenter last night. But Malone goes in his press conference after the game and says, if you just had a blind test here, you put both players down, didn't tell anyone their names, and just put them on pieces of paper, it would be Jokic 10 times out of 10. And I've been around the NBA enough to know that for a fact. And so, like, obviously he's got to support his guy, and Malone's got no problem fucking creating controversy and headlines. But it is an interesting debate because as the LeBron podcast lovers here, I think we'd all agree that LeBron probably got cheated out of 3 MVP trophies. And so now, do we want to go correct history and create a new precedent, or do we want to just let it eat as is? I don't know. Because it's still, if you still look at the board, it's still SGA minus 500. He's going to win this thing.
I feel like if we go off of history and how they snub Bron so many times, SGA is the winner. Now, if we go off of the truth, which they didn't during those LeBron years, I'm going to keep drilling that in and keep reminding. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had some ridiculous people that won over Bron. If you just look at the numbers, it was ridiculous. But I mean, okay. From the not truthful test, I mean, SGA is a freaking MVP. He has sneakers. He has kids wanting to be like him. He has kids wanting to braid their hair like him. He's so marketable. His team is better. But then when you look at those numbers, last night Jokic went 75% from the field with 18 rebounds. That is mind blowing right there. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude, you're so right. And you just nailed the point. And that's what I'm going to take from this is like, there isn't an official criteria for this award. They've moved the goalposts on this 1,000 times. When they gave Russell Westbrook his MVP, they completely changed the criteria. And you got to remember, and I don't mind saying I'm a conspiracy theorist because I'm just paying attention here, but they're going to make whatever MVP is best for the game and the league, and I should say the association, is who's going to win MVP every single year. That's how they're going to play it.
And
my bad, Lance.
Just a quick piece. Yeah, go ahead.
Quick piece. Another major snub. I don't know, but Steve Nash stole an MVP one of those years from somebody.
So straight to this point, he wins it over Kobe, and it's because Kobe was still wearing 8 and still going through the lawsuit. So it was a bad look for the NBA to have Kobe go win the MVP that year. You get Steve Nash and the fun Mike D'Antoni Suns to go lose in the Western Conference Finals to the Spurs.
No, and you guys are 100% right, but this is why I've always gotten in fucking many heated arguments over, LeBron arguments. And we always talk about how many more MVPs he should have. So I have to stay consistent. Jokic is the MVP. He's the best player in the NBA. He's putting up like crazy. Wilt didn't even put up these numbers. Wilt wasn't top 3 in each category. Points, rebounds, assists, and he's 4th in steals. Like, this is just a freak show. And in the modern NBA, he's the best center. This is the all-time great center. I might put him as the top. He might be Kareem 2.0. He's a freak. He's unstoppable. You can't do anything. No one in the league can guard him. There's nothing you can do. Nikola Jokic is the MVP. That's what I believe.
He's now got Denver back to the 2 seed when they were as low as like a 7 or 8 early in the season too, which was kind of my next point here. Lakers lose last night. Denver wins. So Denver goes to the 2. Lakers now with a slight edge over Memphis at the 3 seed, but really tied at 12 games back. 1 game ahead of the 5 seed Houston, and Golden State at 6 is currently on fire. Jimmy Butler quote said they've turned the fucking corner. So it's an interesting spot. I don't think the Lakers are getting back to 2 over Denver. I really don't. I think the Lakers are going to chill and end up right there in that 3 through 5 and be just fine. I still take the Lakers over anybody until it's Denver-Boston, and then I'm just excited to see a 7-game series play itself out. But it's an interesting deal right now in the West.
But I don't know. Maybe that was a mic drop going off on Jokic being the MVP. But I'm like, you guys hear what I'm saying. Like, it is what it is.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I stand firmly on like, if they go off of tradition, yeah. But from on paper and from the naked eye test, Jokic is the MVP. But if they're gonna use factors like whose team is better, which they've used a ton of times. If they're gonna use factors like I don't, they come up with small little things to try to differentiate.
Yeah.
But OKC is the better team right now, and a lot of times that has been the reason why the MVP
100%. 100%. And then it's Russell Westbrook with the 8 seed, but he did something we've never seen before. So it's it's what's best for the league. I wanted to do a quick little college hoops deal. Tone, feel free to add to this if you got any names I left off this list. A couple dark horses I wanted everybody to be aware of as we get closer to Selection Sunday, and a couple of these names to be aware of because they have some work to do to get into the tournament. But I've loved them all season. I expect them to be hot here coming to the conference tournament. So potentially some money to be won for everybody listening to this. One, not a dark horse team in their conference, but a dark horse team if they make it to the tournament, the Vermont Catamounts. They're going to win their conference, and they're going to be an interesting as hell 14 seed. Now, there's going to be some sweet 3 seeds. St. John's probably being one of them. So we'll sit tight on who their path is. But an interesting name to just keep eyes on, Dayton. Dayton just beat the hell out of ECU, who's been great all year, the best team in that conference. Dayton's got a legit 1 through 5 starting group, and then Zed Key, the Ohio State transfer, coming off the bench for this team, who has been amongst the best and most productive players for Ohio State the last couple of years, now transferring to come off the bench for this Dayton team. So this Dayton team, their 6 best players can match up with just about anybody who isn't at the top of the SEC right now. Expect Dayton to be a damn good team come tournament time and to possibly go steal that conference. VCU being the toughest in that conference, they just came off like a 12-point victory over them. So eyes on Dayton. BYU, no longer so much of a secret. They've won 8 straight, and that includes winning at Arizona, winning at Iowa State, and beating Kansas. So not exactly a secret anymore. Not exactly blowing the lid off this. Been trying to get this segment out there, and while I've been doing that, BYU just was ripping it off. But BYU is going to Sweet 16. Book it. Ohio, now the teams that have some work to do that I've kind of fallen in love with. Ohio State, coming off a bad loss to Indiana. They were at Indiana with the lead with like 4 minutes to go and kind of choked it away. They've got some work to do to make the field. They're going to have to go win 2 or 3 games in their conference tournament. I could see them storming this and ending up in the conference championship. Thornton, that point guard of theirs, the coach got him playing super tough. Love the Buckeyes going into the tournament. And if they get in, love them to be a problem for some teams, possibly a fun dark horse candidate. And then Texas. This team is 6-12 in the SEC. They're currently ranked 15th to 17 teams in the, or 14th to 60, whatever it is. Not great optically, but some of the best wins in the country. And they've got Trey Johnson as a freshman who's the leading scorer in the SEC. This 6'7" kid is so silky smooth. It's unbelievable. If this Texas team gets hot, watch out, everybody. They have some work to do. They're going to have to win some big-time games here in the SEC tournament. But if they get into the dance, watch out. And also look to bet on them in the SEC tournament. Tony, if you got any names to add to that list, I just literally wanted to just shout that out to our audience.
I like the Vermont pick. I like the Vermont. I think that's a team to look out for. I got them for the W tonight, and I think they're gonna lead the pack over there, and who knows what they may land and be able to do.
Yeah, I think they got Maine tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, and they're gonna take that. I'm guessing that's probably like a inside rivalry.
Yeah, 100%. And then just so it doesn't sound like I'm taking everybody else's opinion next week when everyone falls in love with them, the 15 seed to love, High Point. This team, High Point, has got all the makings of a freak show run. It's always impossible to predict it, but before people fall in love with them and tell you, and you act like I took the take, I did not. High Point is my team. Okay. Everyone else stole it from me.
All right. High Point. I fucking would have never guessed that's a college basketball team, or just a college in itself.
We got some fun ones in the tournament. We got Central Connecticut. We got all sorts of fun ones.
Central Connecticut has been doing some.
They can ball, Tone.
They've been putting up some numbers.
Yeah.
Wow. Robert Vincent, he's here. He says Vermont for the W. He says, "Lol, wait, I'm on High Point as well." So hey, we got some college basketball.
Robbie,
we got some guys. KG Lil Joe's says, "Watch out for Illinois. They are healthy right now, and they can rebound like nobody else. And in the tournament, rebounds get you wins. Illinois Elite 8, if not Final 4." All right, KG. All right. Hey, I'll keep that in mind. That's pretty damn good. I like it. I
love their point guard, and their freshman that was out for a couple weeks just got healthy with coming back from a wrist injury. So possibly. Wow. It's not a bad thought. Not a bad thought.
Jack, I want to hear a little bit unless you guys got more.
Two headlines again, just felt like we had to just bring them up.
Yeah,
pay some homage to the other sports. They're too big. Tone, I know you're a baseball guy. There's an account that got me back into baseball called John Boy Media, and they do a lot of Yankees coverage. So without a team, a guy that moves, I've lived in 9 states, bounced around a bit, all of a sudden caught myself being a little bit of a Yankees fan last year. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but it's the truth. The Yankees are absolutely fucked this year, so I'm in desperate need of a team. Garrett Cole is set to have Tommy John surgery. Guy at his age means he's going to be done for the next 15-ish months. Really puts that World Series in perspective. The Game 1 walk-off, the Game 5 blunder that leads to there. It really feels like they had an opportunity and let it get away. Not a team now that feels like it's going to compete in the AL. Another update, Giancarlo Stanton, not official. He's still waiting to see how he feels. But if his elbows do not improve, he's going to have season-ending surgery on his elbows as well. He's dealing with tendonitis there. So the AL is officially wide open. If you're an Orioles, Red Sox, Royals, Rangers fan, you got to feel good.
I'm Braves all day over here, but I mean, I think the Yankees, man, they're like they're the Los Angeles Lakers. You know, they're gonna figure out something. They'll figure out some moves over there, whatever they need to do. One goes out. I do feel like that may alter those World Series chances, like you said. That's a lengthy. What's that? A year plus, right?
That's a tough team. I'm telling you, that was their 2 MVPs from last year's postseason. Judge kind of went into his pocket. Yep. Stanton hit almost set a record, I think, for postseason home runs. Was fucking unbelievable. And then Garrett Cole was a walking win for them, which was hard to get. It was their only win they got in Game 4 against the Dodgers. Pitched his ass off in Game 1 to give him a chance. So it's a toughie. It's a toughie for Yankees.
15 months though.
I think so. I think at least, yeah. I think it's this season for sure is done, and then I don't think at his age they'd rush him back. So I think you're looking at like a June start, July start for him in the 26th season, which is it's a tough deal for Yankees, especially too their off season. They let Juan Soto out of the building. They didn't really bring in a huge bat. They brought in Cody Bellinger and a host of other people, but nothing too splashy. So it was a team that was going to rely on their pitching. And just lost their ace. So AL is absolutely up for grabs.
They had Judge. They'll probably find Governor next. They'll find someone. They'll get someone.
Yeah, I think they're the 3rd best team in the division in the AL East. I really do. And then last headline, Tone. tragedy. Tiger Woods ramping up his training, trying to get back for the Masters, tears his Achilles. So redid it, has already had the surgery, was desperate to see kind of an honorable exit from Tiger, where he, be it a British Open or a Masters, and he's around there in the green jacket ceremony, or he gives a wave on the 18th green and we get to just say farewell to the best to ever do it. And now, unfortunately, I don't know that we ever get to see him tee it up again. As a Masters winner, he is exempted into every Masters he ever wants to play in. So maybe there's a time, a few years down the road, he wants to just go tee it up and be in the field, and we get to have fun watching the go do it again. But just a bummer. That's a
hell of a amenity to be able to be that's
it's the coolest trophy in all of sports. It's the coolest trophy in all of sports.
Yeah, I think Tiger's going to enter into his and rest in peace Kobe first and foremost, but I think he's going to enter in that Kobe phase where Kobe, right after retiring, because Tiger number 2. Tigers, I don't know if you guys have seen Tiger's son. Oh my God, I think he's about to get a lot of important training and being ushered in the correct way, but I think that's going to be Tiger's focus now. Making sure.
I think if I'm not mistaken, that kid's committed to Stanford and got a chance to be a little bit of a player. So that'd be fun.
Man, I'm telling you.
Somebody know about Chuck Woods. Chuck Woods is going to be fun to watch.
He has some fire in him, man. Yeah.
I mean, the best part is just the name, because fucking Tiger is just all time. Hey, Tiger gets people up in the mornings. Like, Tiger is just the greatest, one of the greatest, most energizing like montages you could ever watch is Tiger Woods just being fucking great at what he does, just hawking people down on Sundays and doing it all.
The best coverage of his most recent Masters win is kind of comeback when he won most recently, like 2019 or whatever it was, is when he's starting to he hits it close to 16. Literally everybody is running across the fairways of other players, running over to Tiger's green. The players have to stop their tee shot and look over to watch Tiger hit his putt before they can hit. Where it's just like, that guy kind of is golf. Where I love me some Scotty Scheffler. I love me some guys we have on tour. I am desperate for a guy to really root for, like I rooted for Tiger.
I mean, I got goosebumps
Tiger
right
logo?
now.
Tiger logo, PGA.
Oh, honestly, that whole tour is so fucking outdated too. It's run like a circus. Like literally, it's like a WWE traveling circus. It's a tour. It's not a league. Create a league. Let Tiger be the face and logo of it. Let's soldier on.
Right. I'm for that.
Man. Oh, and by the way, I didn't get a chance to say something during the baseball little segment right there. Tommy John is sick. It's a sick business. You got to be out for like 15 months. That is brutal.
It's like a foregone certainty for a lot of these guys now. It used to be a career ender. They say some guys come back stronger off their first TJ. I think this will be the second one for Garrett Cole. But these guys, I was explaining this, like, you're throwing a football, right? You're always just pronating. You're never fighting your elbow. At no point does your elbow lock out right there. Any pitch you're throwing, that off speed, that slider, curveball, whatever you have, these sweepers, these backdoor kick changes these guys are throwing now, everything supinates before it pronates, and you're just forced to lock out with 97 plus velo. Like, it's just the human body ain't meant to do it.
Yeah, that elbow and that rotator's cuff. One of the other is gonna get it. Yep,
it's going.
Ooh, sick business. All right, well, I think I got bets that are teeing off in 8 minutes. So you boys ready to fire? Let's fire out our picks. And
I know Tone's ready. Go ahead. Wait, you gonna set another record tonight, Tone? You got 60 picks tonight?
We're gonna try to set it off, Lance.
All right, here we go. Mine is a parlay and take them individually. These are all player props. Damian Lillard over 23.5 points. Giannis Antetokounmpo over 31.5 points. Giannis over 6.5 assists. Those are separate. Why I like those are all in one game. It's Bucks versus Pacers. Pacers play a lot of offense and not much defense. They kind of play straight up. And so I just think, Giannis, Lillard, and what's his name? Sneaky Kuzma points isn't a bad bet either. I think it's going to be a lot of offense, and the Bucks want to win this game because it's a tight race between these two in the Eastern Conference. Pacers play well at home, but I just got to believe that Lillard, Giannis, and Kuzma, that little big three they got going, is going to perform tonight. So that's where I'm going with those. This is the one bet from the Clipper game, Clipper Pelicans. I have Zion over 29.5 points and rebounds. This is just a gut shot. I don't really know. It was either between him and Kawhi Leonard, and I honestly was just like, you know what? I think Zion's going to give him problems. He's hard to defend, so I'm going with Zion. Next, I got Asor Thompson in the of the Detroit Pistons over 5.5 rebounds. These Thompson twins are athletic freaks. They get their rebounds, and I like him to cover this number tonight. Next, my last two and the ones that tip off soon. Donovan Mitchell over 22.5 points and Evan Mobley over 8.5 rebounds. They play the Nets tonight, and I just think they're going to kick the shit out of them. The Nets are on a back-to-back. It's not looking great for them. I believe in the Cavaliers, and I believe these guys perform tonight. Those are my guys. Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, dude. I love your Bucks pick so much. I just added the Bucks minus 1.5 to my card right here. I loved it. TCU minus 2.5 versus Colorado. You got to hustle. I think that game's tipping off soon. These teams just played each other. It was Colorado's senior night, so Colorado ends up running away with it. But TCU is the far better team, one of the better coaches in the Big 12. Like them to cover that number, no problem. I was going to be on Cal minus 3.5 versus Virginia Tech. I'm going to have to check in on how that game's going because it tipped off like an hour ago or 2 hours ago. So we'll see what's going on there.
I can look it up. You keep going.
I'm genuinely curious about it. We're going to overtime. We're in overtime. It's tied at 65s. So I won't hold myself accountable to that because nothing got it in. We're past regulation. Gonzaga minus 3.5 for St. Mary's. Tone, I feel inspired. Belt to Asta. I know St. Mary's is a damn good basketball team, but Gonzaga's rolling. It's Mark Few. It's March. Let's get it on for the Zags. Utah minus 1.5 versus UCF. UCF's been sneaky good this year. This is kind of a toughie, but Utah's got a ton of shooters. They play their asses off. They're comfortable playing press and playing kind of chaos ball, which I think is college basketball postseason in a nutshell. So I like me the Utes in that one. And then Lance, you talked me into it. Bucks minus 1.5 versus Pacers. That East is heating up, and we've been liking the Bucks to get right since the All-Star break. So give me the Bucks. That's all I got.
We got KG Little Joe's in the chat saying Yanks got P. Diddy'd. Forgot to mention that one earlier. That's
no
tough
Vaseline.
Stuff. And then Lonnie Lau, we appreciate you showing up. He's saying, yo. All right, Tone.
Shout out to Lonnie. Shout out to Lonnie Lau, man. Jack, TCU, they took the W. That game already ended. We got the so I'll start at the top. I have ahead of time just so y'all can be prepared, try to move fast. And also, this is a tip to everybody that's viewing because I read my DMs, I read my inboxes, and a lot of people say, man, when I'm doing this live show with Wanna Parlay, the lines that I'm giving is different when they go in the app. And I believe you because I make these lines at 9 a.m. every morning. I wake up. I have a personal pod, so if you just want the picks and you want to try to catch those lines, if you can wake up early, if you're an early bird, then, get that. But if not, just try to translate it to whatever it is at the moment. If I said 2.5 and it's at 1.5, use your gut, and figure it out from there. All right, top of the list. Money lines and spreads. Cincinnati W. Cincy, they failed me the last time. We get a W tonight, though. Cincinnati W, Grambling W, they already cleared. Grambling W, UTEP W, that's going on right now. Last I checked, it was, I can't remember, but UTEP was down. UTEP W and UTEP minus 2.5. Florida State W, Vermont W, Central Connecticut W, McNeese State W, Northeastern plus 17.5. Ain't no way they getting whooped by 18. UNC Wilmington W, Florida A&M W, Bryant W. This is a tricky one. Bryant minus 9.5. Montana W. I had to look at it because when I put this pick in, I'm going to tell y'all as well. It has Montana tonight and it has Montana State. Montana, guys, just Montana by itself. Don't get those picks mixed up because those are two totally different teams. And the other one is going to get built ass. So Montana W. Georgia Tech. This is a tricky one. W. Pistons, W, Cavs, W, Bucks minus 2.5, OKC plus 4.5, New Jersey Devils, W, and New Jersey Devils minus 1.5. Now, on to the player props. That's 22 picks over there on the money line spread. I got 19 over here in the player props. That makes 41 total. All right, starting at the top of the list, Cade Cunningham, 27 points over. Alex Sarr, 13.5 points under. Jalen Duran, 13.5 points over. My favorite fade of all. Jordan didn't pull 30.5 PRA tonight. Fade him. Jalen Duran, 11.5 rebounds, fade him. This is a hefty one. And by hefty, I mean this pick alone is worth 2+ points. Tobias Harris, 6.5 rebounds, over. Cade Cunningham, 5.5 rebounds, under. Cameron Johnson, 15.5 points, over. Nick Claxton, 7.5 rebounds, over. Nick Claxton, 1.5 blocks, over. This is a risky one. Evan Mobley, 1.5 blocks, over. This is a lock. Donovan Mitchell, 2.5 threes, over. This is another lock. Max Strus, 1.5 threes. Get out of here. He hit like 5 the other day. Over. Yves Messi, 7.5 points, over. James Harden, 3.5 threes, under. CJ McCollum, 2.5 threes, under. Derrick Jones, 0.5 threes, over. And my lock of all locks, Ivica, however you say it, Zubac, 13.5 rebounds, under.
Wow, Zubac under. He's been monster. I kind of believe it.
We got Yves Missy down there. They can't act like the Pelicans ain't got no presence down there. We gonna
Zion, and we need Zion to points and rebounds, for me. So hey, we're on the same team here. I like it. That's just great stuff. Jack, I saw you did the best you could, and then it just got away from you on typing out.
Yeah. Once I get down by more than 2, I'm like, that's it for me. I'll go back to the cast. I'll figure it out. It's honestly, at a certain point, it's just like I'm tired of working. I want to sit back and watch the product. I want to see Tone cook. By the way, that 9 a.m. wake up call is 6 a.m. for us out here. But if that's what it takes to succeed at your level, if that's what 62% demands, then goddamn it, got to set earlier clocks.
Come on.
Oh man, that's awesome. Maybe I gotta bring the doc on so the viewers can see Jack's typing skills and just going in, because it is just some funny stuff to watch. Man, love the picks from all of you. The college basketball, Jack, no idea. I'm just banking on you. I'm just gonna blindly tell you. And Tone, a lot of those props, I loved a lot of them. That was great stuff. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. Jack, you want to hit the outro?
Yeah, as always, this was the Wanna Parlay podcast, home of everything Wanna Parlay, the proud father of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning that $2 into $2,000 and walking out the door. Today was a great show. Thank you, Tone, again for coming on. We'll be back the same time Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Celebrating more WANA winners, updating you on the latest WANA leaderboards, and talking all things sports with a special focus this time of year on college hoops. Special message again, if we said it at the top of the podcast, but this goes out to all of our Texas and Florida listeners and WANA Parlay players. Tell every neighbor you have, every fellow state citizen you know, download WANA Parlay immediately. It is quite literally the only app in those states where you can legally win picking spreads, money lines, and over-unders. We also got a couple parties to talk about. In Chicago, March 23rd, breaking it in for March Madness. Little watch party going on at Little Joe's. KG is hosting. It's always going to be a great party when you have that combination. Wanna Parlay as well as El Bandito Yankee will be in the house. And then we got a big-time party going down in Atlanta. Lance and I are looking to track down tickets and crash this thing, possibly do a remote show from there. Tone, I'm going to leave it to you to tell the people about that one, because no one tees up a party quite like you do.
For sure, man. It's going down Sunday, March 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia, from 2 to 8 p.m. It's a day party. It's a 6-hour event. I promise you will never see nothing like this. If you're near or you can appear, please come on out. Fly, drive, run, crawl. However, I promise you it's worth it. On the screens, I'm going to have all of my parlays, and then I also will have printouts of all of my, not parlays, my bad, all of my player props. The same way I'm giving you this, I'm going to have a full day for this event specifically for people to just mix, remix, pick, pull, make their own parlays, share parlays with other parlayers, see who's the experts in here, and you can get their tips and tricks as well. Watch the games with fellow parlayers. One thing that people hate when we're placing bets is having someone around that's not placing bets and they're trying to throw salt on your parlay. Get out of here. How about you come on down and be around people just like you? Get some of this money and circulate it. Status Lounge, that's the name of the place. March 23rd, Sunday, 2 to 8 p.m. powered by Wanna Parlay, hosted by Tone the Goat.
Tone, every episode, it becomes more clear to me you're the coolest guy I know, I think. If you're not near, please appear. I literally every text I ever send out is gonna end with that tagline. If you are near, please appear. Fuck yeah.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Well, to all the Texans, the Floridians, if that's what it's called, the people of Georgia, people of Chicago, you heard there's places for you to be. So you got to figure it out. Download Water Parlay, get it together. And that's all, folks. Chat, we appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, comment, and let us know how we're doing. KG Little Joe's, Lonnie Lau, Jeremy, Tuckalo, everyone. You guys are legends. There's Tone. He's got his sheets. We'll be back Thursday, like Jack said, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Western, Pacific, whatever you want to call it. Fumbled that one, but we're good. It's been a pleasure.
By the way,
and what?
Real quick, Cal, Virginia Tech going to double overtime. Live line, take Cal. Take the Bears, I believe.
Take the Bears. Live line. You heard it here, folks. All right. Till Thursday. Adios. See ya.